Hello everyone. In this video I'll be talking with you about basic Java constructs, the type of constructs that you can basically look forward to in the Java programming language. Lots of these constructs are just very general, so they actually apply to other languages as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Okay everyone, so in this video I'm just going to be going over some very basic Java constructs, just something to get you up and running, and a little bit on integers. So to begin with, we have a package up here at the top. That's a keyword, that's why it's in blue. So package, and then name of the package that you have. What my name of my package is General Workbench. This pertains to the directory structure that you have in your IDE. So that's really all that it is. It just tells it which folder or which source package this file is located in. So depending on your IDE, you may or may not even need that. So next, let's go ahead and get into what is definitely required all of the time. Java is structured into classes. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make up a class so that we can have a code to run. So go ahead and type in the keyword class, and then you're going to give it a name. I give my class the name new class, and then you're going to put some curly braces there. So really it's just that basic and that simple. Now the next thing over is that in order to be able to run things from this class, it's going to have what they call a main method. So that main method has to have a particular structure. That particular structure is going to be public, static, void, main, parentheses. Inside those parentheses, we're going to put string with a capital S, so string, box brackets, and args for string array arguments. And then outside of that, we're going to close that out with two curly braces. Now, just for right now, it's not important to know all of the details of that code, but just know that you need to put it in there to make your code runnable. So next, when we have this main method, what we are going to do is we are going to run things from main. That's what the class, when Java goes to run, that's where it goes to run things from. Now you can make other methods and then you can call them from main, but just to keep this simple, we're not going to get into that in this video today, but we'll get into it in some upcoming videos. But for right now, we're just going to type in code into main and just to basically get ourselves up and running. Okay, so first thing is to check that with your bare bones project that you have here, there's nothing into it. This code actually does nothing, but it is code that is compilable, readable, and runnable by Java. So let's go ahead and run that code. Okay, so you'll compile it and then run it. This software IDE that I'm using automatically compiles it. Now what you'll see here is that the build is successful, and that's what you want to see. That means you typed in all that stuff the right way. So next, let's go ahead and put something in our code to make it do something. Now this is called the console window. It's like a miniature monitor that you have here, and it's part of the system's output. Okay, it's one of the main things that you'll look for in a Java output is the console window. So you can run and test your code and look for your results in this window here. Part of your input is simply just your keyboard and your mouse. So I'm going to output some text to my window here, and so what I'll do is I'll start with system dot out dot print ln. Some people say println. So if you ever hear println, it just means print ln. And put yourself some quotation marks in there. And then I'm going to put a string. What they call a string is just text, basically. So this is all terminology that you get more and more familiar with as you go along. Okay, so the most popular thing to put is hello world. That's usually an opening starting point in most programming languages, is to just simply test it by outputting hello world to the console window. So I'll go ahead and run that and let's see what we got. So sure enough, we have hello world there. And so we can continue to use the system.out.println statements and make more and more. Feel free to copy and paste as much as you want. I'm going to put here, my name is John Doe, right? Okay. And so now you have the hello world, you have my name is John Doe. So as you can see, what the println Java statement does is it puts out something and then it hits enter to go to the next line. So it prints one line, okay? And so that's what it does. There are other constructs where in Java where it doesn't even hit enter, but this is your very basic startup point. Okay, if you, in other words, like for instance, if you omit ln, then it'll just print and it won't skip over to another line. But actually we'll need to do that here to see the effect of it. Okay, see, so it just printed out one continuous stream of stuff. And if I did it there, then you can see that where the build successful came in, actually you can see the effect. It came in, but this didn't automatically hit enter. So now that I put back in println, we get this. Now, the very next thing now I'll just cover in this video is just integers themselves. Okay, so what is an integer? An integer is just like it is in mathematics. It's a number that has no fractional part to it. So the code for that, the keyword is int. Okay, that tells it the type of data. Okay, our type of data for an integer is going to be type int, and then we're going to give it a label. Let's call it my number. Okay, now I could just leave it like that and that's fine. That's called declaring a variable, but it's not initializing it. Okay, it has no value. I could run that code and it's just perfectly fine. But if I were to try to do something with my number, I would run into some difficulties because it doesn't have any data associated with it. Okay, so let's say I wanted to output my number. Let's see what it gives us. Run anyway. Okay. Uncompilable source code. Variable. My number might not have been initialized. So it has not been initialized. Initializing a variable, in our case we're talking about integers, means giving it some kind of an assignment. So we're going to say int my number equals, and you can just make up a number. I'll just put 3. And so now let's go ahead and run the code and see, now we have 3 output to our window here. So we can also let's make up another number. My number, and you could give it any label that you want, really, as long as it's not a keyword. And And let's say my second number is going to be 1, 2, 3. So if I wanted to add up those two numbers, then I could say my sum is going to be equal to my number plus my number 2, right? And so when we go to output that, let's see what we get for sum, or my sum. So sure enough, we get 126, which is 123 plus 3. Now the only last thing that I'll do here in this video is I'll show you how to concatenate. So in order to concatenate, all that means is just to take a string and put it with a variable of some kind into your output stream. So I think it's better illustrated than someone trying to explain it to you. So you can put my sum of two numbers are, okay, and so you're gonna have your sum of two numbers there, and you're just gonna be putting that in text, and then you're gonna be appending onto it your sum. So this is what we have. My sum of two numbers are, well, maybe it's better grammar if I say is, right? My sum of two numbers is my sum, and so that is it. So I'm going to bring this video to an end, and that will complete it for just the basic Java construct and a couple of ins and outs of the system.out.println function, along with a couple of integers and some strings. Thank you for watching this video on basic Java constructs. Hopefully it was helpful for you. Have a nice day.